Chromosomes. Little strands of nucleic acids and proteins are the fundamental genetic instructions that tell us who we are at birth. Most people are born with 46 chromosomes, but each year in the United States, about 6,000 people are born with an extra chromosome, making them a person with Down syndrome. If you've ever encountered someone with Down syndrome, you know that they are some of the kindest, most joyful people you will ever meet. They truly have something extra. My name is Lisa Nichols, and for 30 years I have been both the CEO of Technology Partners and the mother to Allie. Allie has something extra in every sense of the word. I have been blessed to be by her side as she impacts everyone she meets. Through these two important roles as CEO and mother to Allie, I have witnessed countless life lessons that have fundamentally changed the way I look at the world. While you may not have an extra chromosome, every leader has something extra that defines who you are. Join me as I explore the something extra in leaders from all walks of life and discover how that difference in each of them has made a difference in their companies, their families, their communities, and in themselves. If you like this episode today, please go to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen and leave us a 5-star rating. I'm excited to have Jyotsna Gupta on the show today. Jyotsna is a VP and the Chief Information Officer at Bi-State Development Agency. Well, welcome to the Something Extra podcast, Jyotsna Gupta. I am so delighted that we could find this time. I know how busy you are, and so I'm just grateful that you're willing to spend a few minutes here with me on the Something Extra podcast.
The pleasure is likewise. I'm really fortunate to have this opportunity to, talk to you. And in a short time that we have collaborated, I've known so much about you. So it's amazing to be one of your partner, and I'm blessed to have this opportunity. So thank you.
Well, I'm excited. You are the CIO of Bi-State Development, and I'm really excited to dig into that. But I have a few questions for you before we get into tech, okay? I would
Okay.
love to talk to you a little bit about growing up. I know that you grew up in a small town in India. I would love to know, Jyotsna, how that really shaped you, your curiosity, your penchant for problem solving. Tell us a little bit about that small town in India.
So I was born in a small town called Moradabad, in India, where I grew up my early years. We were in a very modest home, and but we had so many fruit trees in our yard. And it was amazing that my dad managed to have so many trees in the yard, but nevertheless, it was always a pleasure looking at the trees grow different fruits. And how he planned it was just amazing. It was very seasonal, and every season we had something. And so
Mhm.
his strategic planning gave me so much to learn from. And while growing up, I still remember it was, I might be in middle school or high school, he planted a mango tree. And I always wondered, we don't have enough room, enough space, or we won't be here long enough to see the tree bear the fruit. And then he said, well, I asked him, how long do you think we'll have mangoes? And he's like, maybe 20 years, 30 years. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be here. And he said, well, it may not be I may not be here around to see the fruit, but you would be, your kids would be. And if not, if you guys move out, then it would be for your neighbors and for the community. So he gave me the idea of planting the seed, the
Mhm.
right seed, and leaving behind the legacy. So looking back, when people ask me, what do you want to do? I want to leave something that's precious, that's treasured, and that's appreciated by the generations coming forward. So that was my whole thing. But with the modest means that we had around me, I always felt like I had to optimize. I was very conservative about the resources we had. And I had to be very innovative and creative about the things that were available to me. I was I'll tell you this. I was very inquisitive about creating art and crafts. So every time we would have a cardboard or some packaging material thrown into trash, I would take it out. I would recreate something. I created so many greeting cards, the visiting cards from the the waste. So I
Hmm.
had an art to create something out of reusable material. So that was just in me, and I would sketch, I would paint, I would do different things, and I was very, very conservative about those things. So that the the resources and the availability of resources helped me optimize and be and value those resources basically. So um, so growing up, being in a modest environment, it I valued resources day one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. I love everything that you just said. Because I love that what your dad told you, that has always been one of my favorite, I don't know, it was an ancient proverb really that said that a great society is when older men plant trees that they may never sit under their shade. And I just think about that, right? And that's what,
Beautiful. Yeah.
yes, it's so beautiful. It's such an act of selflessness, I
Yes.
think, and really thinking, like you said, about the legacy that you
Yes.
want to leave. You want to leave something better than you found it, right?
Yes. And as you say that, we sold off that house. And I speak to my some of my childhood friends even till date, and they talk about the tree giving fruit to all the neighbors and the neighborhood. I'm like, wow, that is so impressive. So it just brings back past to present and
Mm-hmm.
just adds so much memory to all that while growing up.
It's so beautiful. I love it, and I'm sure that your kids know this story too. I'm
Yes.
sure that you have shared that with them. I love it. Well, you've already talked about the creativity, and I think what you said about turning waste into art. And I mean, isn't that what we're doing all the time with IT too, Jyotsna? We are optimizing what we have and leveraging all the tools that we've been given, right? To make everything more efficient. Um, I just love it so much. I really do. But let's talk about your career journey, and then we'll get more into by state. But I know that you started in QA, quality assurance, for those who
Hmm.
are not in IT, and you taught yourself automation scripting. What do you think gave you taught it to yourself? So what do you think gave you the confidence to make that leap and to teach yourself something that you really didn't know anything about?
Yes. Well, there were times when the opportunities came to me, and to begin with, I didn't know whether I wanted to do it or not. And looking back, did I really want to do it? Did I want to do QA? That was the opportunity that was handed to me, and I took it. Uh, Being in there in the QA team, I just felt like it wasn't the optimal use of what I could, my potential,
Hmm.
I could give a lot more. And there came a point when I felt like doing the repeated regression bored me out. I'm that may not be the right word, but the repeated mundane steps
Hmm.
where you have more potential to give and you
Yes.
have ideas and how you could make those processes more efficient, and making them more streamlined would give you more opportunity to explore other avenues and upskill yourselves. So I did find ways to automate the scripts and implementing those procedures, test scripts into an automation, one click, and then give me the results after like 20 steps. it reduced the whole testing cycle from
Mm.
hours to, let's say, 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That was the time that I saved by automating our processes. And as slowly and gradually, when I started doing this, the team adopted that methodology and they were able to save so much time that they would learn and do new skills and um, go for different opportunities. Or, in fact, they had some personal time to spend to train themselves and
Learn new
invest in
skills.
their
Mm-hmm.
professional growth. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something that I felt like I was always one step. I wanted to give an extra step all the time, and it was the self drive that I felt that I have the potential and I want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. Well, there's a lot about what you just said that I love. You just said I felt like I had the potential. So first of all, you believed in yourself. And I think that
Yes.
is so important, right? To believe in yourself. The other thing that you said at the very beginning, Jyotsna, and I want like younger people, professionals to hear this. You said that was the opportunity that was presented to you and you took it.
Hmm.
So I believe every step that we take, and I know you subscribe to this as well, every step we take, we are going to get out of it what we put into it for the first thing, but it prepares us for the next step because now you are a CIO and I want to get to that, but then you moved into an ERP analyst and I know you worked for some really iconic brands like Mark Andy here in St.
Hmm.
Louis. Love
Hmm.
the Mark Andy family. You worked Eccentric. Walk us through that journey. And I think even when you started at By State Development, you were an ERP
Hmm.
analyst, I believe.
Yes.
So walk us through the journey from ERP analyst to CIO for By State.
Absolutely. And before I do that, I'll take a step back as well. When I came to the country, I planned to have a family. So when I had my first child, my daughter, it felt like, I need to do something with her, by her side. And so I joined masters at UMSL. I did my computer science at UMSL, and it just kept my mind occupied so that I could give my 100% to my family. While I was growing and invested in my family, I was invested in my career as well.
Right.
And so that self drive is so important to have in an individual that it keeps you growing. So when I got an opportunity at Bi State, that was, after Centric Group, which is now acquired by TKC, it's called TKC now. But when I came to Bi State Agency, I was an ERP analyst, three, and my journey started with a very rich experience of Oracle development and programmer, and I had implemented, I was in the warehouse supply chain management team at Centric, so I had that rich experience of supply chain. When I came to Bi State, I was given an opportunity to work in these financial systems. And so in the ERP team, I was supporting processes for finance, accounting, budgeting. And I learned a lot in that. There was one of the projects that I know was stuck for 3, 4 years, round about 3, 4 years, and it just felt like it was either move it or scrap it. So when I got into that project, I just felt like I had to do something. I had to turn it around and make an impact that we can do a better job. We can deliver. So when I started and it was very late in the project implementation that I went in with a very fresh perspective. I went over and beyond what my scope was, what my position was. And I engaged in business conversations, their understanding their problems, their roadblocks, and what was taking them so long to get over that hurdle of seeing across the fence and getting them the comfort level of the new system. So, having said that, we started having more closed meetings, more focused group meetings. And there came a point that we had a great progress. And with that, within 6 months of me taking the project, we were talking about moving into production and making it a reality. So I remember my CFO then, she's retired now. We were crossing paths in the parking lot, and she told me, Jyotsna, I did not believe that we would see this system would see a light of day, and you made it happen. And that was a compliment in itself.
Yes.
So from start to completion, I made sure the delivery was a super quality and there was a customer satisfaction involved. So I think the whole perspective of engaging with the business,
Mm-hmm.
partnering with them, if, giving them the preference of listening to them and understanding their needs, it just gives a lot of meaning to everything. It it associates a purpose of why we are doing this, and are our business partners being heard? Because many a times I hear from different um, engagements that IT does not listen to us or does not understand. They are too techy. But you know what? Without business needs, we won't be here, right?
That's right.
So we have to drive ourselves and align with business needs. And
Mm-hmm.
so over the period, I got promoted based on my, um, progress, and I skipped a few levels, became ERP4, IT manager, senior manager. And then there came a time when last year my CIO turned in his retirement, and I was just sitting on it for thinking about whether would I be able to perform the job, or do I fit the bill? And I kept thinking, it took me really long time to come to the reality that, I have it in me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't apply, I don't want to walk out with regrets. You know, you always have to try, and you have to give yourself 100% to that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you get it or not, that's besides the point. But
Mm-hmm.
without trying, you cannot say that, you gave your 100%.
Yeah. That's so good.
So yeah, that opportunity came to me last year, and here I am. So I've been in this role for 1 year and a month now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I just so much of what you said is good. I love that you just said, you took that time to say, is this for me or not? Can I do this? And then you said, yeah, because I don't want to live with regrets. They say, Jyotsna, that in life you're going to have disappointments. There's always going to be disappointments. There's going to be things that happen in your life that really sometimes you have no control over and it's disappointing. But the thing that we don't want is to live with regret. And
Hmm.
regret is usually controllable by us,
Yes.
it's like not spending your time in the way that you should have. Or so I really love that. Well, let me ask you this, because some people, we have listeners from all over the world, so they may not even know about by state development. I would love for you just to give a little snippet. What is by state? What is the mission? What is the culture like at by state? Just give me a little bit of that, and then I've got a lot of other questions.
So, by state agency is As the name suggests, by state, we cater to two states, Missouri and Illinois. We are a public transportation company. We operate Metrobus, Metrolink. If you've ever been to St. Louis Downtown Arch, we manage the Arch in partnership with the NPS. Uh, if you ever have been to the St. Louis Downtown Airport, that's in Cahokia. We own that downtown airport. Riverboat, if you've ever been to the riverboat, we have riverboats, and then we also have Freightway under our belt. So anything that moves, we move
Yes.
people and cargo. How
I
about that?
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes, and we are a public entity. We report to the Board of Commissioners from Illinois and Missouri, if
Hmm.
that summarizes it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great. Well, okay, so tell me this. What excites you, because it truly is a very mission-driven organization, being in the public sector. What excites you about that? And I know that you have some mantras around why. Like starting with your why, the Simon Sinek, start with why. But what excites you about the work that you're doing? Because it is very mission-driven.
It is very, and so there's not even a single day where I drive to work without a purpose, you know? So our purpose is to give the best customer service, best public service in the region. Our riders are our top most priority. If you are at the bus stop waiting for the bus, we have to make sure the bus reaches on time. And there will be some challenges, construction, road closures, reroutes, but our goal is to provide you the best public service we can in the region. And with that, we try our best from technology and infrastructure perspective
Mm-hmm.
to be there at first at your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I added the. We also have the para transit division that takes care of taking the riders from their home to the hospice care or hospitals, and uh, so we do a lot of public service.
That's
We are in,
important
yeah,
work.
yes,
Mhm.
so that is the mission. We are very customer centric driven, and that is my top priority. So with that purpose, when I walk into the office, I want my team to see that end goal. What are we doing? What are we bringing to the table? We are providing quality care to our
Mhm.
riders, and that's the mission that I just feel like we cannot lose that picture out of our sight.
Agreed. It's so important for the people on your team to map what they do every day to that bigger purpose, right? So
Right.
I love that. What let me ask you one more question, and we're going to take a quick break, and then I really want to pivot into leadership. Um, but how are you thinking about AI right now? Gen AI, Jyotsna, it's on the tip of everybody's tongue and on the top of everybody's mind. How are you thinking about AI and the potential for by state?
Very great question, so pertinent to today's AI driven world. So when I became the CIO last year, the first thing that I did was we need to be responsible and we need to make people aware because this shiny object is here to stay.
Right.
And it was, back in those days when we had internet. That was the new buzzword. And
Yeah.
then over the years, we had IoT, we had all these smart devices. So AI is here to stay. How
Hmm.
you navigate through AI technology is all upon us. So we we do need to have the business driven use cases, and we being in regulations and federal compliance, we have to have great audit notes. And so the very first thing I did was I implemented AI note taking capability,
Yes.
and that was amazing. That was a super hit for our safety and audit department. And being implemented in a secure environment gave us the comfort level that AI is something that we can explore. Now, that's not just the only implementation. We have done several other implementations around different divisions. We did AI implementation for marketing to create campaigns. We did um, we are we implemented Copilot. We have quite a bit of implementations, and as we speak, we are implementing a data loss prevention software system that is in progress right now. So AI, you have to navigate through those challenges, but cautiously.
Yes. Right.
And people don't have the comfort level of whether it's secure or not. So you have to make sure the business is on board with your decisions, and these are the tools to make your processes more effective and more efficient. So
Hmm.
the time you took 8 hours to write a document is now reduced to 30 minutes. And
Right.
you still have to humanize it,
Absolutely.
but your baseline is created,
Yes.
and then you can inject yourself into the framework and make it more human and like you, and add your personal traits to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I truly think, and I know that you subscribe to this too, Jyotsna. I just believe that it's going to help us be a better version of ourselves and get work done more efficiently so that we can focus on, yeah, it's crazy. On Saturday, I was just catching up on a lot of work, and I was amazed by using AI how much faster I could go. It's
Yes.
like your own personal assistant. Truly, it's like where everybody in your organization can have their own assistant. Well, we do need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Jyotsna Gupta on the Something Extra podcast.
In business, the tendency is to seek out partners who are bigger, faster, stronger. When it comes to IT, you should be looking for smarter, faster, better. That's just what you'll find with the talented technologists at Technology Partners. Our experts develop custom solutions to tackle your most complex challenges, all to simplify your processes in the smartest, most efficient way possible. The time to be swift and nimble starts now. Go to technologypartners.net/solutions and see what's possible.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Something Extra podcast with my friend Jyotsna Gupta. So, Jyotsna, we have been talking about so many awesome things, but I really want to pivot into leadership right now. What do you believe is your leadership style?
Well, there are several, but I feel like I am very purpose driven,
Mm-hmm.
and no leader can perform without their team. So having that empathy associated with the purpose is so important. Being there with your team all the time, and then valuing them for what they're doing is, I feel, very critical aspect of being a leader. Giving them the vision and the direction, and sometimes you have to just walk them to the finish line and show them this is your end product, this is what you're working for, and giving them that purpose really gives them the sense of achievement. Wow, this is what I did, and this is what my end goal is. So showing sometimes the end goal gives a clarity and a
Mm-hmm.
purpose to what you're doing. It adds meaning to your day-to-day processes.
Yes, I fully agree with that. Well, you are known. I know that you're known because I've read things about you. You are known for leading with empathy, and I think that that is so important. But let me ask you this: how important has mentorship been in your own journey? And are there mentors even today, Jyotsna, that you could point to that had a tremendous impact on you? And then I would love to hear, how you are encouraging your team. I mean, do you have a formal mentorship program by state? So just walk me through that. How important has mentorship been for you?
That's such a great question. I love that you asked me that. Um, I did, well, at Bi State, we have certain departments who have formal mentorship. IT does not. And it was last year when I was at WashU completing my executive leadership program, and they had assigned a mentor to me. And we had one session of mentorship, and um, in that 1 hour, I just learned so much that looking back, I wish I had done more of those.
Mm-hmm.
And but you know what? It's never too late,
That's right.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
then I thought about, well, it doesn't have to be somebody from outside agency. It could be somebody whom I admire within the company, right?
Yeah.
So I did reach out to one person completely outside our department, and within the agency, and I really admire her, the work that she has done, and I will not take names just for keeping the anonymity, but I really admire the work she has done around the agency, and just how the culture shift,
Mm.
how things change when you have a mentor, and how the other person shows you a different way of looking at things, because you're so used to looking at some things and evaluating and assessing in one particular way that you ignore, or you have these blind spots.
Yes.
So it's a pleasure. It was really a pleasure to have my mentor help me navigate through some of those challenges. I would, open up and discuss my personal challenges,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, some difficult conversation with different employees, and I felt that I had a second opinion, and I
Yes.
always valued it. Speaking of that, in my last department meeting, I had to do something. It's such a valuable program, and I just feel like we do such great job all around the agency, and I had to let people come out of their shells and talk about it. That is this something that you would be considering if you want to learn and grow and develop? Do you see a role model, whether it's in the company or outside? It doesn't have to be within the department, it could be
Mm-hmm.
anybody whom you admire. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was one person who spoke up in the department meeting that, I may not be, um, I can be a mentor, but I would like to mentor about way to live, and
Oh,
and attaching purpose to your life rather than your professional goals. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you need to have a good, you should know the art of living then before you can go and excel in your work.
so true.
I loved
Yes.
it.
It is so true. You have
Yes,
to work on yourself and you have to have that foundation, I believe, before you can even lead other people. It's about
exactly.
leading yourself, right, Jyotsna? I
Absolutely.
really I love that. Well, how would you advise a young person? Let's say there's somebody listening that is younger in their career and they are aspiring for that top IT spot, like what you have. You're at the top of the food chain there, they say in IT. You have the CIO role. How would you advise them if they're aspiring for that?
Have that inner drive. Without that inner drive, you can walk the horse to the well, but you can't make it drink.
Yes.
You have to have that drive within you, that you are hungry for knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key thing. Read about new technologies, whether it's in your area or not. Learn about what other people are doing. It doesn't have to be the same industry,
Mm-hmm.
right? How did this industry manage through these challenges? It is so important to keep yourself up to date with the technology that's around the curve.
Mm-hmm. Ah,
So just by reading it and being inquisitive and being curious takes you to that next level.
right. And if you do have a mentor, then and there's something you don't understand, don't be shy about asking those questions. Tell me more about
Absolutely.
this, right? So that brings me to another question, and then I've got just a couple more things that I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about something extra. Is there, because you said read. Is there a book or a podcast or a technical subscription, Jyotsna, that you do that you would recommend, or something that's really impacted you, like a business book, or like I said, a podcast, or maybe there's a technical subscription that you aspire to, or that you get yourself, and then you could pass along to a younger person?
Absolutely. So I have been listening to your podcast quite a bit.
Oh, thank
So that
you.
has been really amazing. And I do listen to Dan Roberts' podcast as well, Tech
Tech
Whisperers.
Whispers.
Uh, that's very good. Um, in regards to book, I just completed the book of Mice and Men. Have you heard of that?
Yes, that's a classic.
And I was reading that book, and my daughter walked in and said, "You're reading a high school book?" And I'm like, "Was it in your high school?"
She probably had it in her high school
Ex-
literature class.
exactly. So,
Mhm.
um, I just stumbled upon it and I just got into it. It's a thin read. Everybody should read it, and it
Mhm.
just tells you the decision making process. And there are
Yes.
times when you have to take a decision, hard decisions, and it's just a beautiful thing. It doesn't have to be a technology related. It can be how you navigate through the challenges in personal and in professional lives. So
Mhm.
I would definitely recommend the book um, of Mice and Men.
Of Mice and Men, and you may
Yes.
be reading it with your high schooler. You
Yes.
might be. Well, Jyotsna, and I'm not gonna remember who coined this or who it's attributed to. I'll remember it after the podcast, I'm sure. But there is a quote out there, and I love it. It says, "You will be the same person you are today, 5 years from now, except for the books you read and the people you meet."
So true. That's so
And
beautiful.
it's so beautiful, isn't it? Because
Hmm.
really, books can expand our vision even for
Hmm.
our life. This I'm getting off topic here, but I had Horst Schultz on the podcast a few weeks ago, and Horst was the co-founder of the Ritz-Carlton, which is the gold standard in hotels. The funny thing about this, Jyotsna, is he grew up in Germany, in a small town in Germany. He said there was no hotel. He'd never been to a hotel, but
Wow.
when he was 11 years old, he decided he wanted to work in the hotel industry. I'm like, "Horse." I said, "How in the world you never even been to a hotel?" He goes, "I read it in a book." When he was 11 years old, and then he goes on to co-found the gold standard in hotel hospitality. It just amazing. But I do love that quote. Now I'll remember the originator after the
Hmm.
podcast, I'm sure. But here, I want to talk about this just a little bit, and then we're going to talk about something extra. We kind of alluded to it in the front, where you said as a child you loved making crafts and art out of waste. But I know that you enjoy like clay modeling
I do.
and creating art. How do you still do that, Jyotsna, as a
So
hobby?
I, well, COVID, the pandemic time, it was a blessing and curse for a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us, right?
Yes.
For me, it was a blessing that I got so much time on hand to reflect what I really wanted to do in my spare time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that hidden thing in you, the hidden artist in you, or a child inside you that you want to
Yes.
do. You want to hike, or you want to play a game, or do things. So I just rekindled my, passion of art during that time. And I did a lot of clay modeling and bottle art. Actually, if had we been sitting in my office, I would have shown you some of the work that I did
Wow.
during that time.
Hmm.
So, um, while growing up in my childhood, I did do clay modeling a little bit with paper mache and other things, but it truly was after so many years that I picked up because I had time and I
Hmm.
wanted to use the most of it. And guess what? I involved my family, my
Oh,
children in doing it. So it became a team activity.
yes.
And so we did so much and, really had a blast of time. So I have not done it since last year, I would say,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I enjoy doing once-off painting
Yes.
or some embroidery at times. So I do want to keep that artist alive in me.
It's so important, right? I mean,
Yes,
that right brain, left brain, you need to
yes,
use both of them. Um, Justin, I think that you're involved in the CIO summit coming up
yes.
at the end of August, and we do have a session on there because there's so many IT people
Hmm.
that are artists or musicians. I mean, there is a total connection there. We're going to start out that summit with something really fun that I know that you will appreciate. But I think the ability to solve problems. So Katie Canty, who is the interim CIO for Panera, is a professional violinist,
Okay.
and she has told me before that she will be stuck in a problem at work and she goes and starts playing her violin and it gets unstuck. So there
Wow.
is something there,
Yes.
definitely.
And this is so truly said. I would be stuck in a problem and I would be thinking about it. And the moment I walk on and start doodling or I would sketch, um, it just strikes me and it comes to me right away that, this is how I need to solve this problem. This is
Mhm,
this is the direction I want to be in.
mhm.
And there and then you just take the idea and you get up and run with it.
Yeah.
So,
I just love it. I love it. And I love what you said about getting your family involved.
mhm,
That's the way it doesn't have to be just a solo thing.
absolutely.
If you enjoy cooking, get your family involved, get them in the kitchen with you cutting up the vegetables. It's just there's a way to do that, right? And to still bring you joy and to make it more of a family affair. So I love that you did that. Well, I want to ask you, this is called something extra, and this is a question that I ask every one of my guests about: what is the something extra that you believe your leader needs? But I would also love to ask you, on top of that question, what do you believe is your something extra or extras? And I could surmise a few things. I think your drive is definitely one of those, your persistence, your drive, creativity, probably. But are there other things that you would say that are your something extras, Jyotsna?
That's such a great question. And that has really, I have to put effort in reflecting in my past because many a times you're so busy with your work that you don't get time to reflect on
Mhm.
your attributes, your qualities, and how you got here.
Yes.
So I really want to thank you for doing this because it gave me an opportunity to look back and rekindle those memories that I
Mhm.
lived once upon a time. So I appreciate it. So I had a couple of things in my mind for the something extra until this morning while I was doing my yoga practice. It I joined a 28-day transformation challenge on subscription, and today's practice was intuition, and the trainer in it told me a story which I would like to share, and
I
it
would
just
love for you to.
and it just I connect with it so much because I see it every day. So this is a monastery, Buddhist monastery, and they are relocating a huge Buddha statue from one place to the other. And During that process, one of the employees or one of the monks see a crack in the huge Buddha statue. And it's around the time 1957. So there is a shiny light coming out of that crack.
Mm.
And so somebody gets curious and they start chiseling away the clay on the statue. And to come to find out, it's a huge statue of gold. And so it is, I don't know how many kilos of gold, but it's a huge Buddha statue made out of gold. So the historians did some research and found out that centuries ago, the invaders came in, and to protect the idol and the statue from the invaders, they covered it with clay. And it wasn't after centuries later that they found out that it truly is a pure gold statue. So the takeaway is, we are covered with layers and layers of different things. And it could be opinions, judgment, situations that mask you from your true potential.
Mm.
You have that in you, and you just have to uncover it. You have to chisel away and find your true self. And
That is beautiful.
I just felt it, I connected with it so much
Oh
today.
my goodness. Yes, you have to find your true self, and don't be afraid to show your true self. I think in today's world, Jyotsna, you probably would agree with this. I think people long for authenticity,
Absolutely. And you have
right?
to be genuine. Don't be
Me
scared
too.
of taking decisions. There would be times when you would make, you know, mistakes. But those
Mhm.
are, those are truly the opportunity for you to perform better. And it's amazing, the one of the statement that the yoga trainer made was, it was a funny balancing pose, okay? And I want to share this because it was just funny that we are trying to balance on one leg doing a warrior pose, and then he says, I hope you fall. I really wish you fall, because it's not the fall that matters.
Mm,
It's how you get up from the fall. How you rise from the fall makes you the true person. And so don't be scared of
right.
taking those decisions. And even if it's, you know learn from those decisions. If it didn't go right the way you wanted it to be,
Mhm.
you will learn a better way to do it next time.
Yeah, that is so good. Oh my goodness. Jyotsna, I have absolutely loved this time with you. Thank you so much. It's just, oh my goodness, you've given me so much to think about, and I know you're going to help our listeners. So I just appreciate you.
No, the pleasure is likewise. And I really thank you for this opportunity, because it gave me the time to do
Mm,
self reflection. And we honestly do not have time to think about what we did in our childhood. I had to really think down and make notes of,
right.
oh, really, what did I do? And so I thank you for all this opportunity. And it was such a pleasure talking to you,
You
knowing
too.
you. And it just gave
You
me
too.
a reflection of my past. So
Oh, very
how
good.
beautiful.
I cannot wait for our listeners to learn from you. So you have an awesome rest of the day, and thank you again.
Thank you so much, Lisa. More to come, and we'll talk
Mhm.
later in the summit.
Thank you for listening to today's show. Something Extra with Lisa Nichols is a Technology Partners production. Copyright Technology Partners, Inc., 2019. For show notes or to reach Lisa, visit tpi.co/podcast. Don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or wherever you listen.